Bakugan is a game that takes whatever playstyle and characters you like and puts it into a competent build for you to start playing. No matter how much you splice it, there are some Bakugan that will be doomed to a specific role. Aurelus Hydronoid will always be in Fire Fists, Darkus Tertonium and Pyrus Howlkor will always be in Fury, and Matt here will always be funnier than Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes! Finally! We did it, Baku gamers. We're finally funnier than Whoopi Goldberg. Like it or not, this is what peak human performance looks like. I've accomplished my mission. There's nothing left for me to do on this planet. Goodbye.
Give me your attention, baby.
I guess we could talk about Baku Treasure. Baku Treasure is something I neglected to talk about. We're continuing that train of busted Aquos cards. Boop, boop. Yes, another broken Aquos card has hit the scene. It's a zero cost, draw one. Why would that be busted? I hear you scratching your head making monkey noises. Why would that be busted in a deck whose life points are dictated by their deck, and you want me to just draw one and just kill myself? What? Yes, because this is why Baku Treasure is busted, because as long as you draw into the things you need to win, and you win, that's not really doing you any harm, now is it? If you win constantly, you never have to worry about your deck taking any more damage than you've already dealt yourself, so there's no problem at all. There's a reason that in other games, draw ones for literally no cost whatsoever have been either limited or banned into the recesses of card game hell. That's why I'm bringing parallels to Upstart Goblin. Remember the meme, if you come from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I do, there was that meme with Patrick Hoban, thank you, Papa Hoban, is Upstart made your deck 37 cards. And what does 37 cards mean? It means more consistency. You're going to draw into what you need faster than your opponent. So if you don't have a little blue ball on your side of the field, you are putting yourself at a meager disadvantage. Meager probably means small. A big disadvantage. Well, not a moderate to heavy disadvantage, because 3 cards is a lot of your deck, kind of. It's a decent chunk. I could go about this all day, but we have a special guest who is far more passionate about Baku Treasure than I could possibly ever be, so I'm not even gonna dare to fit in his shoes. Let's go to Letherna from Brawler Cafe to discuss the important points of why Baku Treasure is possibly the first bannable card in this game. Hi, Leth from Brawler Cafe.
Hi, Queso, also from Brawler Cafe, but also of his own YouTube channel, Magnus of YouTube.
So, for the people that don't know, why is Baku Treasure such an issue? Or at least too good not to run?
There's a lot of reasons, but the simplest reason is comparing Baku Treasure to any other card draw in the game, right?
Yeah.
Let's, as an example, just use Carapace Spin.
Sure.
It's a card, it's there. It's a card that people generally like, kind of.
For like more combo decks. Yeah.
Yeah. Or another example is just any one cost reroll when you have Shun in play.
Yes.
That's a more common
deep dive,
card draw. More common card draw would be deep dive. I'm paying 1 to draw 1 card.
Yes.
Now, let's say I'm playing Haos Tynelius, the deck.
Yeah.
And it's turn 4, and I don't have the Evo in my hand. Let's say I already put Shun into play as well. Like, I got the turn 3 Shun, and I'm coming into this turn 4 without my Haos Tynelius. If I play Dark Waters, Deep Dive, any other given reroll that you feel like mentioning, other than Quickfire, if I draw Haos Tynelius off of these cards, I do not get to play Haos Tynelius this turn.
Yes.
I don't have enough energy to do it. I used energy this turn. I'm off curve now. I'm now playing below curve value because I had to spend 1 to draw, and now I'm playing a 3 energy play, which is essentially a turn 3 play on turn 4. So I'm technically behind for the sake of consistency.
Yes.
Which is not inherently a bad thing. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Now, if I have Baku Treasure in my hand, and I play Baku Treasure, and I draw Haos Titanius, I get to play it now.
Exactly.
Right now, right this moment, I'm now playing a turn 4 play on turn 4, and I got more deck consistency.
Yeah.
And there's more to it than that. Right. There's more to it to that, obviously. You know, there's other points that we need to get to before the end of the video. But the best and simplest way to summarize it for people with the least TCG background knowledge is this lets me get the card I need on this turn without not being able to play the card I need on this turn.
Digging for your combo pieces.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it's not necessarily a combo piece, sometimes it's just the piece of my value pile that I want on this turn. The next big point is when talking about deck construction, for reasons that we do not have time to address in this video, you want your deck to be as few different cards as possible. And the reason for that is so that you see the same cards in all your games as often as possible. You want consistency, and that's what consistency is. Because if your deck can do the same good stuff over and over and over again in a tournament setting where those losses really, really matter and you really, really want to not have them, it makes a lot of difference for you to be able to consistently, you know, in a best of 3, be able to 2-1, 2-0, 2-0, 2-1 through those rounds. And in a more casual setting, you might be like, oh, well, my deck wins like 60% of the time, and that makes me happy. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's, you know, live your best life. But
whatever makes you happy. Whatever.
When you're trying to compete on a higher level, you need to hit a much higher average win rate.
Absolutely.
Because you need to not lose essentially any rounds at all. And to do that, you need your deck to be performing about the same way every single game. And to ensure that, you want as few different cards as possible so that your options are smaller.
Yeah. And with the play sets of 3, you'll see everything you run at 3 way more often.
Exactly. What Baku Treasure does is it breaks this in half to a degree.
Over its knee.
Because before, I could only run 14 different cards. And this usually, for best optimal results, came out to 12 cards at 3 copies and 2 cards at 2 copies each. However, now I can also run 3 Baku Treasure, which can just take the slot of one of those previously mentioned 12 at 3 copies. And what that means is my deck is now only 13 different cards. Whenever I draw a Baku Treasure, I can immediately play that Baku Treasure to get a card deeper into my deck and get one of the other 37 cards. Like, technically the worst case scenario is drawing another Baku Treasure, but it's not a once per turn.
No.
I can just play another Baku Treasure.
Exactly. Like, it just...
You know, the card doesn't say, like, limited to once per turn.
Which is... Well, we don't even have hard onces.
No, we don't.
Yet.
Like, that's not a thing in this game.
Because the energy cost you would think would be the substitute for that. That would be...
Right. That's usually how that works, yeah.
I don't think that would cover it all until they start printing zero-cost effects, yeah.
Yeah, now we get into zeros, now we get into trickier territory, which is why certain things like that exist.
Aurelus Trox is looking super scary in the near future, too.
Oh, don't get me... Hey, you mentioned it. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. You're the one that brought it up.
I did,
but yes,
I did.
It's a free tick onto Clone Army, getting cards deeper into your deck to get to your combo pieces. Because it's essentially a 3 combo card deck. You have to hit at least 3 pieces of it. You have to hit the Evo, you have to hit Clone Army, and you have to hit an energy accelerator of some kind.
Yeah.
Usually specifically Song of Fire. The point is that with Baku Treasure, I'm way more likely to see those specific cards. And on top of that, I have another 0 cost for my combo turn, so if I already drew the specific cards I need, I can just play this and get more ticks on my other things. So it's a huge buff to that specific deck.
I feel like, and I said this on the podcast, which is coming out this Sunday, gamers. Or not.
Maybe,
so
or not. Who knows?
Who knows? It's the Brawler Cafe podcast. Don't expect it when you expect it. I feel as if, for those Yu-Gi-Oh gamers in the crowd, this is similar to Gofu, the Blackwing card that was at the beginning of Link format. It was a card that basically spawned 3 monsters and allowed you to sacrifice them for a Link 3. And that allowed smaller decks, or like less consistent decks that can't pump out monsters that fast as like some of the bigger decks that were way faster and way stronger, and allowed them to at least get their Link set up so that they can go into their actual plays that they want to do. But the problem with that, and that's like Baku Treasure for like maybe less consistent decks that run blue, but it is also making those strong decks even stronger, because now they have access to that as well.
Right. It's a very common misconception, for sure, that when a strong card happens, oh, this means that my less strong deck is better now.
The gap
and that's usually that's usually not true. It might not necessarily widen. What's more likely is that it stays exactly the same. Like a couple decks that are more combo focused will get more better compared to decks that are less combo focused.
It stays the same, except it just moves a little bit. They both
it moves a little bit.
Yeah.
Decks like Aurelus Trox or say Surtburn are going to benefit more from this.
I forgot about Surtburn. How did I forget?
Than the mid-range value piles. Because they were already more combo focused, so being able to hit specific cards benefits them disproportionately. Because they're combo reliant. That being said, it still really benefits the mid-range value piles. So like it's not to say that they aren't feeling good about this card either.
Yeah, as much as I love Hydronoid to death, I was actually kind of remiss that Darkus was not a 4-cost, even though it would be very bad for the game.
It would have been terrible for the game, but for Fury it would have been great.
Because we would be able to run Baku Treasure and dig into our mites and max way easier and just consistently win for free.
Yeah, we definitely are a kind of combo-focused deck, so having that 0-cost draw one would have been very, very beneficial.
I wouldn't even say combo reliant. I would just say, we need this card. We need these damage cards.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, it's technically a combo.
Yeah.
It's definitely a combo as soon as you add in the fact that you technically want a Super Fuel or a Song of Fire to accelerate it.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll give you that.
Don't just want to draw Dark Rage and play it for 5.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is hopefully this video has helped you understand why, if your deck has Aquos in it, you need to make space for 3 Baku Treasure. And if your deck doesn't have Aquos in it, you need to consider why your deck doesn't have Aquos in it, and if it's actually worth it for your deck to not have Aquos in it.
Because the stars are aligning. They are.
Yeah.
Like, Hydrus is the biggest base Bakugan that we have.
Right.
So
like,
a lot of
your
decks...
deck has to be super purpose-built around 3 other colors.
For you to not just splash it in.
To sit down and say, no, I don't want Aquos.
Let alone the Aquos engine is one of the best in the game. Especially for mid-range piles, like...
Especially for mid-range piles.
Which is the majority of decks that are going around right now.
Oh, the vast majority, like 90%.
Yeah.
And then, like, even the combo decks want Aquos.
Especially now.
Because they want the draw power, especially now. So, like, if you're a mid-range pile or a combo deck, probably want Aquos, definitely want Baku Treasure. If you're, like us, desperately trying to play aggro, then maybe you don't. Maybe you just can't fit Aquos in.
We wait. We lie in wait.
We lie in wait until the day that we can.
Thank you, Letherna from Brawler Cafe, for joining
Yeah.
me on this Magnus
Thank
Monday.
you.
Welcome to Magnus
Thank you for
Monday.
having me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It sure is. It sure is Monday, and definitely not a different day of the week at the moment.
Absolutely. Who records in
Absolutely.
advance? Who does that?
No one, clearly.
Mm-mm.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
It's not.
Well,
Is there any
that's-
parting words that you have for the viewers at home?
I guess hopefully look forward to more specifically deck building related content that we'll hopefully do.
I hope so too.
Because I still really want to do a video about, like, really getting in depth on, like, why you want your deck to be consistent. Why does that actually matter?
So,
You know, more than I did here.
Yeah.
Because this was just kind of the Cliff Notes-y
Mhm.
version.
This was just the toe in the water to get you guys ready
Because-
for what's to come.
Right, because the immediate next question that most people will ask is like, well, but look at all these cards I like. Aren't all these cards good? Don't I want all of them? And it's not that you're wrong for asking that question, it's that the answer is no, and it deserves a better explanation as to why.
So look out for that. That'll
Yeah.
be hopefully within the next 2 weeks, but no promises.
That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be
I think
great.
so. We can make it happen. But
We should we should get a few people together to record that.
yeah, assemble the crew.
Because, like, I could technically ramble by myself, unhinged, for an hour, just about the things that people do in deck building
Yeah.
that shave off my lifespan. Just an hour of screaming incoherently.
All right, Baku gamers. Bye. That's it.